I don't know if this is going to come through alright or not. Unfortunately, YouTube gives up now far quicker than it used to when you've got a disconnect. Before, it used to be a case of you would have to forcibly shut down the stream. It would just sit there and wait. Now, if it's more than about 60 seconds or so, it just cuts it on its own. So that's a real nuisance. The problem we had was that my internet just died. Yeah, no good. Hey, Rustlin. Mick, Travis, Andy, John. Yeah, just died. The cable, or the network provider, seems to be doing something with our connection all along this area the last few weeks. And usually at around about this sort of time they reset the line or something. All I know is that it's annoying as heck. Oh, bravo! Yes, the person did not include the bracket. You can always tell when it's been somewhere that's in a rush. So leave out the small plastic brackets. There we go. Oops, two of them? No, I only want one. So come on, how hard is it to just add that bracket? That's it. I shouldn't be getting too accusational because I have a bad habit of not using the old B7000 to pin down things. So I guess I'm equally as guilty. I find most of the time that as long as you've got the bracket in there, everything else constrains it fairly well. So you don't get a lot of movement. But at the very least have the bracket. Should I get it to wiggle fit? You're gonna wiggle fit? No, you're not. You're actually gonna make me work for this lousy mongrel. I gotta admit, I'd be lost without these glasses. It's not a great thing, but I guess at least I have the glasses. Oh, what's going on here? Sometimes getting these brackets on feels like trying to plug in a... Oh, you mongrel. Trying to plug in a USB stick blind on the back of your server or something like that. And you just... No matter which way you turn it or whatever, the USB stick will never go in anything sooner than the third try. USB ports are most definitely tri-state devices. It's like no, no, no. Oh wait, no, no, yes. I suppose they've ruined that now with the USB-C connectors. Took all the fun out of that. Right. almost done with this. This is just typical daily drudgery. Stuff that makes your bread and butter money. Doesn't really get you up in the morning, but it does at least feed you. Pay the bills. Keep the wolves from the door, as it were. Just want to double check that this works before I go ahead with the battery replacement. I just realised I haven't even checked to see if I've got a spare 7 battery. Yeah, Steve K, I have acknowledged him. Okay. By the way, people in this industry, have anyone noticed an uptick in things like iPhone 8s just going dying on people and you having to do the up-down power restart sequence? Because I just had a bunch of them the last few days. I'm wondering if there's an update issue somewhere. Okay, the screen is working. 1.3 amps. Charge port's okay. 1.2. Nick, generally I've done pretty good with my current supplier. I've paid maybe 5% failure rate. That's about. Ruslan, thank you for the 39 ruble. Oh, pardon me. That was dinner. Coming back to say hello. Right, I need a battery strap. Come on, battery straps, where are you? Where are you hiding? You guys all gone camping out in the iPhone 6 box, haven't you? There you are. Battery straps all hanging out, the iPhone 6 Bandcamp. So they can one day say one time, Bandcamp. The screen's working. I can see the logo come up. Hey, City. Hi, Catherine. Alrighty. With the 6 and the 6S, I do take out the Taptic engine thingamajig, but with the 7, I don't bother. Now, given that the one that I just threw out was a refurb screen, there's no point me really bothering with True Tone, because I can tell just by the way that they did that one that they would not have transferred any True Tone information across. Is that an ant or flying insect doing loops around your glasses? Could have been. Can't see anything around, but then again, I am half blind. Jim, sorry to hear, mate. Not good. I hate it when you put these strips on and the strip prefers to stay onto the carry plastic rather than the battery. It's like, yeah, it's like, wow, is this what our relationship's going to be like? You trying to run off and leave? Stuart, you had a concussion from a car accident? Second career. Well, the lockdown is sort of abating now here in where I am. To be honest, where I am now, we really didn't have a lockdown much. The biggest effect that we experienced here was simply the loss of free and available toilet paper on demand. Aside from that, and maybe a few extra days on deliveries, it's been no different out here than anywhere else. Some of the stores, of course, have, however, I mean, that's for me. I do know that some of the restaurants in town have suffered a bit, and unfortunately, some of the good ones that I like, which is a little unfortunate. They're doing the best they can, but right now they're in, I guess, like everyone else in their industry, they're in a case of trying to minimize their losses each week as opposed to even thinking about profits. So hopefully they can get through that. Yeah, certainly the COVID has affected industries um, differently depending on what industry you're in. I mean, obviously for my industry, it's been no different, or at least particularly working at home. All these years of being a hermit have paid off finally. Sound like some kitty cats fighting out there. Hey, Cam. Yeah, we've got we've probably got about 7,000 people within the town itself, and then another 4 or 5 outside of the town. It is frustrating though that people. Okay, I'm not getting that battery's flat or that button doesn't work. Or the battery's crap. No, 1.6. Or did I pinch the cable? Did I pinch the damn cable? That'd be really unusual if I did. Two amps. I don't normally see 2 amps coming up on these things. Alright. I'm going to pop that back open. That's drawing a little more current than I'd expect. I have a slight concern that maybe I pinched the cable as I pushed it down, but I mean normally you can feel that. When you put this section down, you can feel if it bites into the screen cable. I do know that the screen was working. That's a given. Gotta love it when it doesn't work at 100% like this. My bad, I should have actually checked if the battery did work before closing it up. Okay, what? Okay, I think my screen might have. Cable is definitely not pinched. It could be that the battery is so flat, but then if it is that flat, the charge rate shouldn't be 2 amps. The charge rate should be closer to 100 or 200 for a little while until it gets to the point where it is ready to come up to full charge rate. And that's usually the point in which you will get the battery logo show up. So we'll give it a minute or two and see what happens, but it's a little peculiar. Typical. Hey RDP. Yeah, well, Nick, like I said, I mean, I did plug it in and it came up fine, so, it's better by refurbished genuine. This is a refurbished one. Yeah, this is a refurb. I gotta admit, I have been starting to use the H05 or the high-end aftermarket ones lately. Mostly because I've been getting more inconsistency on the refurbs than I have on the aftermarkets. Okay, we're down to 1.3. Let's see if I can prompt it. This is really going to tick me off now. What I'm worried about is that bend that we saw may actually be playing into the situation now. The bend might actually mean that something on the main board has given up. 1.4, 1.3. Okay, we might put that aside for 5 or 6 minutes while I get back onto the Acer. Get my big pile of water out of the way. .3 is a fairly normal charge rate, I find, for these with the new battery in them. If the battery is around about sort of anything less than 60% full. Give it a chance to come good. It's a little weird though. Could be a faulty battery. Yeah, okay, this is annoying me now. I'm going to try plug in their old battery since we know that did at least give the symbol. Come on, come on. There you go. Ah, bent it the wrong damn way. Oh well. Sometimes it can just be a case that the connector isn't sitting in quite right. A little mongrel of a thing. Just because I'm on YouTube doesn't mean you get to play up. Yeah, 1.3 on this one as well. What the hell? Okay. Alright, it's making a fool of me. Let's disconnect these cables and try again. Sometimes... is that a little piece of junk I see in there? Make sure we don't twist that cable. Thought I heard a cat fart then. And secure. That's secure. It feels reasonably secure. Usually these batteries should come charged. There we go. It was just a connector problem. You idiots. We knew that all along. It was a trick. Haha. Just had you all scared. Hey, any 555. Yeah, I knew so my wife usually can hear the build up to the fights. I can't, but she'll hear it at 3 o'clock in the morning, jump out of bed, race out, screaming at him. And I'm like, what's going on? Okay, cool. Must have just been slightly off alignment. Maybe when you push the flex it came up a little. That is actually quite possible, yes, came. So I'll try to be a little more careful this time. Maybe I was a little bit overzealous with that. Ah, damn it, that's not... reach. There we go. Glasses again. Hey, Warren Stamps. How you been, mate? Someone's left their dirty fingerprints on... for some reason, fingerprints really offend me. Funnily enough, a lot of them are often from the Apple staff, or the people, I should say Foxconn staff. The poor people subjected to slave labour conditions to produce our fancy devices. And does that stop anyone from buying these? Probably not. At the best, they'll probably click a thumbs up like on a Facebook post illustrating the terrible conditions. And you go, oh yeah, I thumbs up that. So another 10,000 thumbs up and Jesus will save them. Okay, try not push it too hard this time, huh? Ach, niemand. Alright, we're good. Wait, what happened to Catherine? Notice on the 7 series, APC is really bad. Yeah, they do tend to feel less lock-in than other ones. What's happened? I can't seem to find out what Catherine's talking about. Oh well. China is having tons of city lockdowns that did not beat COVID as they claimed. They're not going to let you say that. Still, there's a squillion cities in China. I guess they just sort of like lock them down as required. I haven't heard much in that regard from any of the people I know in China, but that doesn't mean squat. Let's see if I can get this weird surface effect off. You can see that there. I'm gonna guess it's probably some sort of drink or similar, so we'll use the water mix and see if that comes off. Yeah, it does. Yeah, probably Coke and something. Got to make sure I don't touch the alcohol on the sticker too much, because it does make the stickers go black. I'll do. Alright. Fixed. Bravo! Another job partially done. Now we can get onto the Acer. See what's making that chug and slug. Strawberry Kool-Aid, entirely possible. Ah, Catherine, I'm really sorry to hear about that. That's not a good thing. I mean, what do you... Yeah, it's just not good. Very sorry to hear. Was it like age or still totally understandable if people don't want to talk about that either? Okay, Azure, you take care. What, you want to come out? Now, get to the first screw on this Acer and it doesn't want to come out. Yeah, now it does. Changed its mind. Third cat, Hemabatonella. What's some sort of blood disease? That's really bad, Catherine. Are they getting old, or is this just something, just a really bad run of luck for you, you poor thing? Hey, Mark. Doing a Seuss. My hard drive died partially. Yeah, well, that's not really a Seuss's fault now, is it? Blame Seagate or Western or Toshiba or whoever made the drive, I suppose. Transferred by fleas. Oh, crikey. Right. It's very hard to keep such things out of the house. Yeah, if there's... It doesn't even have to be your own cats, that's the thing. It'd just be some wandering strays that transfer it across. So yeah, it's a great concern. A Connor hard drive. I haven't seen a Connor hard drive since probably about the 120 megabyte size. Okay, it looks like they decided to stick some sneaky screws down the bottom here. Fortunately, I'm able to use a sneaky screwdriver to get them off. Tony, I actually didn't get much of a chance to check because most of the time the people are in a bit of a rush and a hurry, and I'm also in a bit of a rush and hurry. And so as soon as I get it to come back to life with the up-down power sequence, they usually run off with a great glee of happiness in their face, and I'm left with a bit of sadness because I'm thinking, damn it, I should have taken the phone off them before I did that and told them it was going to cost them $100 to restore it. But no, me being too much of Mr. Nice Guy, trying to help people out. See, this is why I'm not filthy rich. Because I don't take the opportunity when these things come about to take advantage and make money. And it's not really that much of a taking advantage, because really you're using your experience in the field to know what you can try in order to, get things up and running again. How do you treat that, Catherine? Your rescue cat transferred the fleas. That really... That hurts in an extra way, doesn't it? Because you're trying to do something. Holy crikey, that didn't sound good. You're trying to do something to improve the lives of these animals, and it costs, it costs you so much in that way. We had a close call. Sorry, I don't mean to make this about us or anything, but we had a close call last year or the year before. One of the um, foster cats we were looking after had feline AIDS, and he had been around and with our cats, but we were very lucky that after there was a little bit of a tiff once between them, we just separated him away, and yeah, we got lucky. I have a feeling this is a seriously dust-filled machine. $5 says I'm right. If I can even get this machine open. Because if it's not the hard drive, it's usually overheating that's causing that behaviour. If I can get the damn thing open. See, let's have a look. I'll be able to get some light in here, and if I can, oh, damn it, I can't get it open. Ta-da! The light reveals a very dusty looking fan. I will say I do like the way that Acer, or maybe not just Acer, I like it when they put the trackpad buttons on the main board, because when they do that, they're usually some fairly solid buttons that they've used. Okay. Now the only downside of the way they've done this frame is that, sure, they've got whopping great big metal hinges at the back here, but the chassis is weak as. So if the chassis can't actually handle me moving it back, it is just flexing like anything. Alright, so mongrels, the fan. Okay, this is what I don't like, is when they make it that you have to take the whole main board out just to get to the fan assembly. So you know it's gonna get choked up. Why don't you just make it a little bit easier for us? Why is that screw missing? There should be one there. Ah. Okay, so I can't lift up the main board because the power cable is holding it down. Brilliant. And there's not enough slack in it. Brilliant. Oh. Masterful. Come on, what sort of connector are you? Surely I can yank you. Yeah, come on, I can feel you coming out. There you go. Wasn't so hard. Okay, there's obviously something else over here. It's probably the hard drive cable. Oh, I'm starting to get irritated once again already with the brand. Yep, there it was. What else is hanging on now? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, what do we got? Some sort of speakers, I imagine. Right, and... okay, to be fair, these ones should have come off initially anyway. But that power cable one, that's a laugh. Okay. Flip it over. You could jump their RAM, they've got 4 gigs in there. To be fair, at least this has screws in it, as opposed to just molten plastic rivets. There's probably not much point taking off that... that's okay, you can do it. I was going to say, there's probably not much point taking off the CPU thing here, because it's such a low power thing probably that the transfer paste isn't going to make a world difference. Okay, you are going to make me have to take you off, aren't you? Yes, you are, because you're a mongrel. Yeah, nice. That's entrapment. Fine, it's coming off. Hey, Victor. What is this, an AMD? Yeah, it's an AMD. Ha! Okay. Well, yeah, that's, I think we can definitely say that moustache of hair is why it would be shutting down as it did. I'm going to protect myself by putting on my fume extractor as I pluck away at this hideous... it's a rat's nest. Does the cage come off? No, it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. That would be too good to be true. It's not the worst I've seen, but it's not the greatest either. I'd say the worst thing here is that it's actually corroded the fins a little bit. Should have got the Dyson from downstairs to do this. At least it still spins. It doesn't seem to have any grinding noises, so that's good. Alright. So that's done. The Dyson, funnily enough, I bought using my Amazon affiliates. It was like, I think I saved up 2.5 years worth of Amazon affiliate earnings and then bought the Dyson on special. So I was preparing to buy myself a nice multimeter or a DSO. And then Alita said to me, we really need a new vacuum cleaner. And she saw the Dyson and, well, that was the end of the affiliates income for me. Good news is I've rebuilt the affiliates income. And I said to her already under no uncertain terms, I said, this time it's for me. Oh wow, that just... Okay, that just broke right off, which means it certainly is quite old. My bad. It definitely did need replacing. I mean, it was probably fine until I cracked that seal. It's interesting to see that... I don't know if you can see it there. No, you can't really. That there's still a fair bit of writing on the top of those heat transfer plates. And all that writing actually does detract from the ability of the die to transfer heat away. I mean, not a massive amount, but it does add up. Particularly if you're a gamer and you want the very, very best transfer rate, then you really don't want writing on the top of that metal plate there. Because that creates an air gap between that and that. And sure, you can fill it with the paste, but ideally you should have zero paste. Ideally you should be able to just stick the two surfaces together and let the metals fuse together. Actually, that's probably not a good idea. You'll never get them apart then. You'll basically destroy the chip trying to get it back apart. But in theory, that's what you want. Now the Dyson's been doing really well, as long as we keep the intake and exhaust filters appropriately cleaned. And it does have a pretty rough life around here, with all the cat hair and things like that. Alright, this should run a fair bit nicer now. But I still think I will pitch to them that they need a solid state drive in there while I've got the opportunity, because otherwise 3 months later that hard drive's gonna fail and then they're gonna be mad at me. You're gonna be all like, we paid good money for you to fix it up the last time and now it's broken again. What the hell? And I wouldn't be able to blame them for being angry at me. Especially now, like, you get 250 gig solid state drives, they're so cheap. And in something like this, just a Western Digital Blue or a Crucial BX 500, yeah, something like that. It doesn't have to be even as fancy as the Evo 860s or whatever. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna have to unwind this slightly. I may have to completely unwind it, but I'm gonna try my luck. I think I made the problem worse now. Yep, I did. Damn you. Doing the pull-out was easy, but getting it back in, not so much. Yeah, I mean, just sort of want to make sure that they don't come back at me. And just purely for... Oh, that was fun. It'll be good to know that it'll last them a few more years without any trouble. Or should, anyway. Should. Famous words. Which way up did that go? Right. Yep, that way. Did it? You gotta love it when you get confused by what you've done. Ah, right. Now I see. Got it. So when am I going to buy an X-ray machine? I was inquiring into that, and it seems like at least here in Australia, while you can get the machines, you do have to have a specific license for any sort of radiation emission device. So you can't just buy it and use it. So maybe you can in the States and whatnot, but here in Australia it seems like you do have to have a proper radiation emission license. Fortunately though, I have been speaking to my friendly radiologist, and he has said that I can bring boards in and he can image them for me. And also I'd imagine if push come to shove, I could always check down at the local vet clinic and they may be able to do it for me as well. So I've got a couple of options if I do need that. Hey Steve, enjoy the coffee, eh? I was gonna say bring me one, but I've already had my share today. Look, that's crazy. Why would you want to x-ray your cats? At least these days with the digital sensors that we have, you only need about 1/10 the exposure of what we used to have to use for film type scenarios. I mean, admittedly the digital sensors are very expensive, but the fact that you can get away with about 1/5 to 1/10 the radiation exposure is a very nice feature. What would also be a spectacular feature is if I knew where the third screw went. That one I've got... Ah, there it is up there. I was just looking for the white arrow on the board. I found it. Okay, I don't think there's anything else I need to add on the side, so I can... So they put all the chassis strength here, see, they've got it all there. So when you sandwich it together it's fine, but when it's opened up it's just a disaster. It has absolutely no upper body strength. And the keyboard flex is naturally way too short. Seriously, what do they use? They use like babies or something to assemble these machines? Because I've got fairly lightweight hands. If I compare my hands to a typical, like my father's, or someone who does solid day's work, then I've got fairly dainty hands. And even with these hands, I feel like an absolute caveman trying to connect those cables back up. Forgot the speaker cable? No, they're on the... I haven't forgotten those because they are actually accessible through the hard drive bay. Which is why I berated myself before and said that I should have done them before I even took off the top deck. I couldn't see another fold in there, but man, those hinges are really brutally stiff. Okay, speakers are done. This other one, I don't know what it is, but it's done. SATA cable. Done. But yeah, seriously, as I try to close these, those hinges feel extremely stiff. So I might actually screw the... I'll put the screws in for the hinge areas now, rather than after I've broken the plastic. Stuart, for a long time I was trying to find a leader, a good laptop, and I tried a great number of different laptops, including some really nice little HP 14-inch ones, which I thought were quite good. And it's somewhat amusing that in the end, she naturally ended up really loving the MacBook 1502. So, and I gotta say, since I've had the 1502, I'm not going back to a PC laptop anytime soon. It's just nice having a laptop that does what it's supposed to do for me. Can they be lubricated? I think the problem in this case is they just simply have bound up too much in terms of physical binding or something. So I don't know if they can be. There are little like dots at the back here. I suppose what I'm waiting for is just to friction wear them down. I gotta say, it's impressive how quick those 3080s sold out. It's also impressive the fact that they managed to make such a significant improvement on graphics performance. I gotta admit, I was kind of expecting the Pascal series to be the big jump, but it seems like, same with the Pile Driver or Bulldozer series, that AMD just had another bit of a dud. .3090s are sold out as well. I'm not surprised. I suppose everybody's like, well, if I didn't get a 3080, I'll just grab a 3090. It's an overkill, but at least I'll get one. Prater, if you had a 3080, you probably could have got your 3090 quickly enough. Yeah, the price is probably the biggest thing that won people over more than anything else. Because yeah, usually when you saw the high-end machined graphics cards coming out, the prices you'd be like, yeah, I think I'll have a big fat pass on that one. But then to come out at that price point, the 500, it was like, whoa, that's different. How many screws are in this top deck? 1, 2, 3 screws in the top deck. Does that mean I've got one missing? I've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, I've got one to go. It's around here somewhere. Ah, there it is. And that is that. It has to go up to the other room to be properly tested, but I'll see if I can boot this. What do we need? Do I have... I don't have the power brick here, I don't think. Let's see if I've got an Acer equivalent. IBM, HP, Toshiba, supersized Toshiba, piece of junk. Nope. No, I don't have. Do not have the power brick down here. It's upstairs in the other room. Oh well. But I think we can. Yeah, the amount of junk that was built up in there, that's pretty much a smoking gun. Pardon me. So what was that? Job 290. I forgot to update the damn system for that. Damn it. Change the status right at the end. That's brilliant. Fan assembly choked with dust, cleaned. CPU transfer pad dry, cracked, repasted. Submit. So it needs a SSD to change out. I cloned the drive upstairs in the other room. See what the status. Accidentally turned off my screen. Come back on. Seriously, somehow just knocked the power out of my screen. That's funny. I mean, just teetering on there. Let's see. Wrong password? Seriously? Still the wrong password. Well, clearly I don't know my stuff. Okay. Bypass? Yeah. Let's log into a different machine. Okay. Bypassed and in. Mouse, come on. Grrr. What's the point of having a mouse pad if it doesn't even do the job? Okay, let's see. Schematic. That'll do it. Okay. What we're doing is we're having a look at the petitions on the drive. Okay, here we go. And from that, we can see we might be able to get away with 250, but it does leave them a little bit short on the solid state drive. Particularly because like your 250 mark is going to be about there, and then you got to have this bit here, which is these down here. So what is this? 15, so 20 gigs. We could get rid of that stuff if you wanted. It's primarily there simply for recovery purposes, which on this, if it's running Windows 10, the recovery partition is not going to mean anything anyway because it will have Windows 8 on it, which is on the sticker of the machine. So let's see, what have we got? Used 100, so yeah, be 50%, so 100 gigs left. It's like, yeah, it's marginal. I can ask them if they want to go 500, which is going to cost a bit more because at the 500 level I then start using the Samsung Evo 860s, so the price not only increases because of the extra capacity but increases because of the brand. So, but what's this? Arnold G. DD Rescue did recover that HFS drive. Oh, cool. That's great. Good to know. Yeah. So I'll have a think about this. I'll basically say to him, look, it's going to cost this much for a 240, 250 drive. Actually, it will be a 240, so that cuts it even further down. They may have just a bunch of crap in here. And if they've got a bunch of crap, then maybe their real consumption is further down here. But yeah, this partition here, basic data, it's you can pretty much get rid of those. All you really need is the EFI and the Microsoft one. Okay, well at least I know what is on it, so that's good. Okay, yeah. Whoops. Alright, now I get to finally check the MacBook that I picked up while I was in town and see if it's any good or whether I got stiffed. I didn't really. I actually paid the person even though they didn't ask for anything. Because they have given me other machines in the past without cost, and I thought it was about time I actually started to pay people some money for some machines. And this should be a working unit, so we'll go to the overhead. The downside is that best I know, this is a broken screen. And even if it's not a broken screen, it's a really badly... Wow, that's a really bad screen gate. Not screen gate. Stain gate. That is incredibly bad. Okay, let's crack this sucker open. I'm sort of vaguely hoping this will have a 4924 board in it. And if it's a good working board, I can then transfer it into the one that's got the 3-beat RAMs fault. And I can then do it as a, this is a board swap, so it does cost a little more than just a board repair. And if the person's interested, then they get a fixed machine. I get reimbursed for my acquisition. And I probably, if the screen's no good on this, which I think it is, no good, I basically just end up with a bit of a test chassis, but not much else. Sadly, it's not a 4924. Blast. And the batteries are starting to deploy. Overall, it's in pretty good condition. Samsung drive, unfortunately, too. Mind you, this is the older style one. So what is this? This is a 30... I don't know what this is. It's a 2.4 gigahertz, 8 gig RAM. Listerine, the best thing to clean. Okay. 2.6 gigahertz, actually. Woohoo, an extra 200 megahertz. It's going to make all the difference in the world. It's a 256, but being a Samsung, I would never actually hand this off to anybody to say, here you go, this is a working drive. Because those things pretty much do have a ticking clock on them now. And it is, damn it, yeah, see, it's got the gold ring on it. So, no good. $13 or $14. Yeah, I'm not sure which one it could be. So we'll find out when I find out what the board number is. Drum roll. At least it's 8 gigs. Where's my board number? $76, $34, $76. Okay. I swear I've got a few of those already. Seems to be a common one for me. Yep, another 3476. So I ended up with a board that I already have. Oh well. No biggie. Let's see what happens when we try to turn it on. What effect we get on the screen. Pardon me. This could be interesting. Well, bongs. What the hell? Okay, we've got a crack running up the side here, but on the upside it's a test screen, and so long as I don't mess with this screen too much, it may, work for a while. We've got some horizontal lines through it, but yeah, it's a test screen. Yeah. I don't know how long it will survive with this crack. I wonder if there's a way. You gotta love it when my voice just jumps up like that. I wonder if there is a way to stabilize the glass on the LCD panel so that the crack doesn't migrate any further. Yeah, you're right, fixing things. You probably could sell this for 500 easy. Some of the prices people are expecting to get for busted up MacBooks on eBay is just crazy. It's like very much brings out the inner castle in me. It's like, hey, tell him he's dreaming. Hey, Richard Moore. A case might help. Maybe. Maybe I should go down to the local auto car glass repair place and ask them to put some of that magical no, okay, so it's quite extensive. It just and the mouse gets lost in there. So it's a pretty good bleed. Just unfortunate that there really isn't a alternative for getting with these screens. It's it's $600 to get a replacement. I mean, your new screens are cheaper, as in your 1706s and things like that. They're cheaper than the 1504s. Yeah. Okay, well, I don't have a test screen for this particular model I do have test screen for the 2015, so now I've got a test screen for the 2013 14s. All good. And at least I can use this corner, which means I can click. Yeah, it just took you a while there, didn't it? Shut down. Shut down. Looks like TV, you just replaced. What happened to your TV? You get knocked over? Stockholms, I have 6 new 1502, 3098, 2050 screens, but nobody to sell them to. That's the problem, yeah. You got a situation where the market's holding out on you, and everybody's playing chicken with everybody. Yeah, I don't think Lewis is going to be in a position to be buying much stuff lately. I think he's gone into survival mode, to be honest. Alright, so when you consider, though, that the amount I paid for this and then sort of paid for the previous machine I got, then I'm well ahead anyway. The previous machine was soaked in wine. It's the same model as this. And I managed to get it to work again, and its screen is perfectly good. So, yeah, this is more of a bonus than anything else. And I know that the only thing that's actually happened to this is it's had the physical knock that caused the crack in the screen. So, yeah. But Lewis is a millionaire. I don't think he'll be that way for much longer at the rate he's going. Yeah. It's gotta really suck. I mean, the guy... I mean, technically he made pretty much all the right moves to get his new store. It was a necessity that he got the new store and everything like that, and then it just all turned bad like it did. So hopefully we'll be able to hang out long enough and get things up and running again. But it is going to take a while for the recovery to occur. Makes me thankful that I am my own little business here. But there are downsides of being a small single-person business. If you get sick, you can't do work. If there are other things that you have to attend to in the house, you can't do the work. You can't scale up to deal with larger contracts as quickly as you would like. And I think a lot of the people who may approach you for the larger contracts will sense that you are a small single-person business, and they will actually retract away from you because... understandably, they're going to be thinking, if something happens to this guy, he's not going to be able to look after our demands, so, better we go elsewhere. Let's see. A friend's pit bull jumped up on your wheelchair and crashed into it. Whoa, that's really not good, Richard. No bites or anything like that, I hope? I'm guessing it was a friendly pit bull, just a little bit too eager and maybe shouldn't have been around. Have to have the kittens repair the MacBooks. Huh? Yeah. They'll add plenty of fur into everything and that'll just make it a mess. Alright, so we've got a test chassis here and a donor board. Thing is, I really don't tend to find many of these particular models needing donor boards. I don't think I've ever had one of them had to have a donor board. Generally either been able to fix them or there's something else wrong with the machine, like a broken screen that renders them financially unviable to fix. And I really don't know what to do with these sticks. Because like I said, they are really a ticking time bomb. You can't, with good ethics, sell these to people anymore. Because you know that they're going to drop dead tomorrow or in a few weeks or maybe even 6 months down the line. It's not so much that it might drop dead, it's the fact that you know that that is what it's going to head towards anyway. So the last video saw Lewis who had gotten a pile of atoms. Well, you probably should sell out of those within the day. I probably should start doubling up on my equipment. It's like I should get another microscope, I should get another hot air station, and I should get another Hacko. But with the hot air station, I'll probably just get another quick. At least then it should be. I'll leave that sticker on it. At least then, I know exactly what I'm dealing with if I've got to do an immediate swap over rather than sort of going, well, I've got a new product. I'm going to have to try different techniques in air and things like that, and it's going to feel different. Yeah, backup equipment is definitely a key requirement to keeping things up. Yeah, Cecilia, I think, you think it's just a global shortage of 1502 screens, given that there isn't really a third-party provider of them. So all that we're getting are simply refurbished old ones. Not much that can go wrong with the microscope. Yeah, you're true. It's true. There really shouldn't be much that goes wrong with it. I may still get a backup one in the sense, just one of those compact stand versions. Still the same head, but a different stand. Cats are good for finding warm spots. No need for thermal cameras. Yeah, if your warm spot's this big, yeah. Oh well. Alright, well, it's past midnight, so best I head off to sleep. We didn't really do a huge amount tonight. We just basically had the iPhone that we fixed up and then the Acer that we diagnosed with a heating problem rather than a hard drive problem. But it was good to see that at least I've got a good motherboard in that A1502 and I've got the spare test screen, which is important too. Well. Okay, well, I'm out of here. Tomorrow being Friday, I might get lucky. I might get some packages. I'm still waiting on my union repair package, which contains my iPhone warming plate thingamajig that I've been waiting for, because I've got a couple of iPhone 10s that I need to split the boards on so I can check for a short. I've been waiting now, it's a month now since I made that order. It's been in Australia for 3 weeks and they don't know where it is at this point, so it's a fair bit of money in that order, and I'm going to be a little bit upset if it doesn't arrive, or if they go, it's lost. Yeah, it's the risk you take sometimes, but it's no matter how many good deliveries you get, when you get the bad one, it seems to always be a bad one to have it on. That's the way it goes. Okay, I'm out of here. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you maybe tomorrow, depending on what arrives. And until then, you'll take care. I'll see you later.